All right, welcome back, everyone. I have my good friend, a new weekly regular for my channel. I got Lauren Elaine back. So, welcome back, Lauren.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I like the new setup. So, you got your podcast studio going. So, this is part of your work, you said, your workplace?
Yeah, so I'm part of a workspace, like a co-working space, and they have a podcast studio and different rooms for recording in.
Ah, and you said it's booked, it's kind of booked a lot. And it's,
Yeah, it gets booked a lot because a lot of people are doing podcasts and Zoom, and people that aren't necessarily working at the space can also book it. So it does get booked up.
oh, nice. Okay. Well, how much does that cost, rough? Or how much do you pay for this monthly, the workspace?
It depends on, so they have offices, and so the offices vary in size. So it depends on your office, or if you want, there's like a open desk area where you can just be out in the common area and just like work at the bar. They have a kitchen, they have coffee and tea, they have dedicated desks where you can have like the same desk in the open workspace, or you can just like be part of like a floating desk where you can be at this long communal table. And I have an office that I share with three other people. And so, excuse me, sorry, our office is 1,200 a month, and then we split that between the four of us. So it's honestly really affordable with all the perks that you get.
Yeah, I see these popping up everywhere. No interest in starting your own. Is that something you're looking into or?
No, it's a business. You got to
Uh,
have, they have like a front desk person who greets everyone, will like make them coffee. So it's almost like everybody has a receptionist as well. So you got to, hire people. It's a full business.
all right, cool. Well, let's dig into our topic today. So last week we kind of touched on some like savings, if you can build wealth by just saving. And today, we kind of touched on it a little bit last week. So we're going to touch on as far as your thoughts on maybe having a paid off home or paying off your mortgage quickly or early. So what's your thoughts on that?
So I think definitely putting extra mortgage payments, like at least one a year, can really save you a lot of money in over the course of your loan. And so paying it off more quickly, I think is a great idea. Whether you pay off your mortgages or you use that money to invest in other property is something that I'm actually debating myself right now. I am going to be selling one of my properties, and the money that I'll get from that, I could pay off my Airbnbs and have those maybe not totally free and clear, but maybe just pay them down, which would feel really good. Like, that sense of security, that safety to know that I've been in this expansion phase for the last 3 or 4 years. And then, at some point, there's a shoring up phase, where you've been stretching and investing into bigger things, new things. And then I think there's a point where you have to go, am I over leveraged? Because a lot of people do get themselves into a bad situation because they are over leveraged. So I'm at a point right now where if I did pay down those mortgages, I would know that those are very safe investments. And that would give me a great sense of like security and also freedom. Because right now, when you're living life on that leading edge of what you can kind of afford comfortably, I have reserves for every property. But if, something happened where a house flooded and it needed major repairs or something like that, and you can't rent it out for, let's say, 3 or 4 months. As we know, construction can take longer. It's like, can you afford to continue to maintain those properties? So I'm questioning that myself, and I don't have a solid answer of what the right decision is, because it is a lot of money and I could potentially invest that into another business, probably something like storage or the commercial space. And that could be an incredible opportunity as well, because you don't always get large chunks of money, to invest with. So I don't have an answer, but I'm thinking about these things myself right now.
Yeah, I think there's no right or wrong. I think it really comes down to like where you're at in life. And I think but it comes down to kind of what is enough. Like, if you keep trying to scale, you kind of, creating another job or more work for yourself. Has this always been your mindset from the beginning of your journey, though? Did you ever think that you would ever consider paying off a property? Because when I started, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna scale, scale, scale. I'm never going to pay off a property. But now I look back, I'm like, maybe like you're talking about just that less risk on the table or more comfort. So in the beginning of your journey, would you ever thought that you would be thinking about paying off a property?
No, I was the same as you. I thought, I'll just use that as money as down payment and get a mortgage. And as long as the tenants are paying the rent, then why not just keep going with it? And now I'm also at the point where my values have changed. I used to want to grow at all costs because I just wanted to take advantage of the fact that I was young and could take those risks, and I'm still young, but my values have changed as far as work and careers go because I've gotten to a point where time is more valuable to me. And so if I do pay those things down, it really does free up a lot of my time, and I would have enough money I coming in to do whatever I wanted with my life. I would be able to, take everything as a profit because the expenses are so much lower. Like, it would just allow me to have a freedom that I don't have right now with having all of these properties with these mortgages. So values change, and like, we talked about Ramit, like, what is your rich life? My rich life is really time freedom, being able to travel, go where I want, do what I want, but also being able to have the finances to do that. And so I think maybe paying it down would give me that. But at the same time, I also want expansion and growth, and I want to go into these new endeavors like Airbnbs I could do with my eyes closed, but storage is something that I'm really interested in and I haven't done yet. So it would be an opportunity to get into that and to expand my experience and my life and even further. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like having buckets, right? Like, you're gonna be less leverage on one side, and like you're saying, you're generating this certain amount of income or cash flow, and then you have maybe I wouldn't say play money, but maybe this little bucket that you can use, like you're saying, take on a new venture, be a little more risky, but you already have this other buckets that are safe and less risky. So yeah, I think we're kind of in the same camp on that. Are you in that camp more of completely paying off properties or more like you're saying very low debt on them or low leverage?
I think just pay them low. Honestly, I like having a little bit of a mortgage because they pay your taxes and insurance for you. So it's just you don't have to worry about that, which I like. So I think I would probably just pay them like low.
Yeah, I agree too, because I think, even from like you're talking about insurance or even liability standpoint, right? Having a mortgage on them kind of puts the bank back in your corner. Like if ever something happens and if it's paid off, you don't have anyone else kind of in your corner helping you resolve this situation. Where if you have a
Mhm.
mortgage on it, then the bank's like, hey, I want my money too. So you kind of have a teammate in this process. So that's the way I look at it also. But
Yeah.
is there a number for you? Do you have like your freedom number or certain goal for yourself?
I mean, I have different levels of numbers. So I have a level for um if I just needed like bare minimum living expenses, I feel like I would want to have, I own my car outright and I don't have to pay a mortgage or anything like that because I have other people paying my mortgages. So I have a number where it's just like, for me, this was the number of I can quit my W-2 or not have to go back to it. And I needed to have at least $5,000 a month above like my expenses. So just like, car, mortgage, all of that. And then I now have my freedom number is now like $10,000 a month is like, okay, if I'm making $10,000 a month and I'm not, and that's above like my car and mortgage, all of that, then I know I can like travel, do what I want as like a single person. And then $20,000 a month is like, okay, you're really have plenty of money, but you can also like save money and invest in other projects. So, I don't have kids or anything like that. So your numbers vary based on like your lifestyle and how, if you have a partner that wants to go shopping or has different things that they value as their rich life, then those numbers can vary. But those were my numbers that I initially was aiming for.
Yeah, I think the one thing people don't realize too is you've kind of built a skill set for yourself too. So even if you don't maybe completely get to that number yet, or if things go wrong a little bit, you have this skill set now where you can build your income back up. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize. Because if you have like a W-2 or just a regular job and you lose your job, or maybe that job is getting taken out by AI, right? And now you
Yeah.
don't have this skill set to increase your income. Whereas getting in investing real estate, you're kind of building this skill set to learn how to even make money when things might go wrong. So I think that's the important part is you've got this skill set now.
Yeah. And that's one reason I also like shoring things up, paying things down and not being over leveraged on them is because you can get to that benchmark. You can say, okay, I have these properties, they are paid down, and that's giving me my $5,000 a month that I don't have to go back to my W-2. And then you can get to the next level and shore that up and pay those down and say, okay, I'm at the next level where I really truly am free to do what I want when I want. And then you can find ways from there to make more money. Like maybe you take on another flip or you start wholesaling or something to generate more cash flow to get to that next level.
Yeah, totally. So I think we are on the same page. I like it. Yeah. I think it's important though in the beginning, you kind of have to build this relationship with having debt. I mean, that's kind of the way you're going to scale quickly. I mean, but honestly, maybe some people don't want to scale quickly, right? And that's
Yeah.
not their goal. But if you do want to scale and get to your freedom number a lot quicker, I think you just have to build this relationship and being comfortable with having debt.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can't, it's really hard and really slow to if you're not comfortable with the good kind of debt. And you can go slowly. There's nothing wrong with that. There are plenty of people who, by the time they retire, they went really slowly. And by the time they retire, they have this nice little nest egg of properties and it works for them. But if you're trying to get to that retirement age or just have a little bit more freedom quicker, you have to take on a little bit of debt, the mortgages. But, I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid of debt at all. I don't think it's bad. I'm not really big on the Dave Ramsey program of, just pay everything down. I think there's a good side of it. And then, but it is a weight that you have to consider, like, is it worth it? But I mean, I would never be able to get into storage if I didn't take on debt. And so it does allow you to utilize, there's tax benefits, there are so many good aspects to it. And it just comes down to being educated. You have to educate yourself on the good kind of debt and what are the benefits and know when you are getting over leveraged.
Yeah, I love it. I think we're on the same page. I think everyone goes through this kind of process when they get into investing, and it's just a matter of your comfort level. Not everyone is going to be comfortable having debt, but you do kind of have to use it to get to a certain point. And then, like you say, like what you're trying to do, you're trying to figure out if it makes more sense to pay off some properties. But the main thing is you have to get these properties first, and then you can kind of figure out your portfolio and what works best for you. So I love it. And this was a great topic number one. And we'll come back with topic number two after this. So thanks, Lauren.
Thank you.
Okay.